What happens when two of music's biggest stars collide live on national television? One of them finally snaps. You're about to find out. Because today, we're diving deep into the shocking moment when Adam Lambert lost his cool and stormed off Kelly Clarkson's show, leaving the entire studio frozen in disbelief. Before we start, hit that subscribe button and drop your thoughts in the comments because this story, it's wild that it began like any other cheerful day on the Kelly Clarkson show. Kelly, ever the radiant host, welcomed the crowd with her trademark smile. The applause shook the room as Adam Lambert strode onto the stage, confident and charismatic, waving to his fans. Nobody could have guessed that just minutes later, the atmosphere would take a dramatic turn and the show would go down in daytime TV history. Kelly kicked things off warmly. Adam, it's so great to have you here. I've followed your career since American Idol, and watching you perform with Queen has been phenomenal. Adam smiled, relaxed. Thanks, Kelly. It's been a crazy ride. That's for sure. Then came the question that changed everything. Kelly leaned forward. There's been a lot of talk lately about authenticity in music, especially with talent shows and manufactured pop stars. As someone who came from a reality show yourself, what's your take on artists who might not write their own music or who seem less genuine with their image? The air shifted. Adam's expression tightened, his voice calm but cutting. That's a pretty loaded question. Kelly, authenticity is subjective. Just because someone came from a TV show doesn't make them less real than someone discovered in a coffee shop. Kelly nodded. Polito Libet pushed again. Right? But don't you think there's a difference between an artist molded by producers and one who organically develops their sound? Adam's posture straightened, his tone sharpened. Are you suggesting my success isn't organic? Because, Kelly, American Idol was just a platform. It wasn't my beginning. Kelly quickly raised her hands. Oh no, I wasn't talking about you personally, but Adam wasn't convinced. Weren't you? Because it sounds like you're implying that artists like Mu started on television are somehow less legitimate. You could feel the tension thicken. The audience shuffled. The studio energy dipped from light to electric discomfort. Kelly tried to laugh it off, but her smile faltered. Adam, I think you're reading too much into this. I just wanted your perspective on how the industry's changed. Adam's jaw tightened. My perspective? I've worked my butt off for everything I've achieved. No one manufactured my talent or my image. I've been authentic since day one, whether people want to believe that or not. Kelly, flustered but defiant, pressed on. But Adam, you have to admit the industry has changed. When I won American Idol, things were different. There wasn't all this focus on image and social media. Adam's eyes narrowed. So now my success is about image, about social media. Kelly, I don't know what you're trying to get at, but it's starting to feel pretty insulting. Silence. The audience stopped breathing. The band members looked uneasy. Even the producers in the back were shifting nervously. Kelly tried once more, voice softer now. Adam, I'm not trying to insult you. I just wanted to have an honest conversation about the state of music today. Adam laughed, but there was no humor in it. Honest. You want honesty. Fine. You brought me on here, and instead of talking about my music, my anything positivo spent the last 5 minutes questioning whether I deserve my success. That's not what I was doing. Kelly insisted, her voice cracking slightly. Isn't it? Adam shot back. Because it sure sounds like you think artists from reality TV are somehow second-class musicians. By now, the warmth that Kelly was known for had completely vanished. She looked genuinely shaken. Adam, I came from the same place you did, she said, her tone rising. I won American Idol too. Why would I ever disrespect that? Adam's voice dropped cold. Maybe because you've spent years trying to distance yourself from it. Maybe you think that now that you're established, you can look down on people who came up the same way. And then Kelly said the words that would set everything ablaze. Look, Adam, I think you're being way too sensitive about this. The audience gasped. You could feel the oxygen leave the room. Adam's face hardened, his eyes blazing. If looks could kill, that would have been the moment. Asterisk, the studio audience held its collective breath. Everyone knew it. Telling someone they're too sensitive is like striking a match in a room full of gasoline. Adam leaned back in his chair, his voice low and dangerous. Too sensitive, he repeated. Did you just tell me I'm being too sensitive? Kelly's smile faltered. She knew instantly she'd stepped into the fire, but it was too late to take it back. I just meant maybe you're interpreting my questions in a way I didn't intend. Adam raised a hand sharply. No. Don't backtrack now. You don't get to dismiss what I said by calling me too sensitive. Do you have any idea how condescending that sounds? The air crackled. Cameras rolled. Red lights blinking. The crew's eyes darted nervously across the set. What was supposed to be a cheerful interview had turned into a live, unscripted showdown. Kelly tried to steady her voice. Adam, let's just take a step back. We've both gotten a little heated. Maybe we should talk about why your hero knew music. Your Adam cut her off. Oh. Now you want to change the subject. After spending the last 10 minutes questioning my authenticity and then telling me I'm too sensitive for calling it out. I wasn't questioning your authenticity. Kelly insisted, though her voice trembled with uncertainty. Really? Adam shot back, sarcasm dripping from every word, because that's exactly what it sounded like. But hey, maybe that's just me being too sensitive, right? You could feel the chill in the room. The audience shifted uneasily. Kelly's composure was slipping. Adam, I'm trying to have a professional conversation here. Professional. Adam laughed bitterly. Professional would have been asking me about my music, my work with Queen, my career, not making me defend how I got here. That's not professional. That's patronizing. The silence that followed was deafening. Even the band had gone still. Kelly, desperate to regain control, forced a smile. You know what? You're right. Let's talk about Queen. How has it been working with Brian and Roger? Adam's laugh was cold. Oh, so now you want to talk about Queen after implying I'm not a real artist. You think you can just pivot and pretend the last 10 minutes didn't happen. I never said you weren't a real artist. Kelly protested. You didn't have to. Adam said sharply. It was clear in every question. The comments about manufactured pop stars, the digs about authenticity, all said the same thing. And when I called you out, you brushed it off and told me I was too sensitive. Kelly's voice wavered now. Adam, I think you're putting words in my mouth. Am I? Adam turned to the audience. Because I'm pretty sure everyone here heard exactly what you said. And so did everyone watching at home. The crowd sat, phrasing no laughter. No whispers, just a stunned, heavy silence. Kelly's tone softened. Look, Adam, I respect you as an artist. I've always respected you. If I said something that came across wrong, I apologize. But Adam shook his head. No, Kelly, you don't get to offer a half-hearted apology and move on. You don't respect me as an artist. If you did, you wouldn't have spent this interview undermining my credibility. That's not what I was trying to do, Kelly said, her voice rising with emotion. Then what were you trying to do? Adam challenged. Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you brought me here just to tear me down in front of your audience. Kelly's voice cracked under pressure. That's ridiculous. Adam, why would I ever do that? Adam leaned forward, eyes blazing. I don't know, Kelly. Maybe because it makes you feel better. Maybe because you want to prove you're the only idol success story that matters. Maybe because you think putting me down makes you look bigger. The accusation hung in the air like thunder. Kelly went pale. That's completely unfair, is it? Adam said quietly. Because that's exactly what this feels like. You brought me on to talk about my career and, instead, I've spent the whole time defending my right to exist in this industry. Kelly's voice trembled. Adam, I never meant for it to come across that way. But it did. Adam said firmly. And when I tried to tell you, you dismissed it. You told me I was being too sensitive. Do you even realize how insulting that is? The studio was deathly still now. You could hear the faint hum of the cameras. Even the crew had stopped moving. Kelly's eyes were glassy. I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, Adam. That truly wasn't my intention. Adam's face hardened. If you hurt my feelings, he repeated. Kelly, this isn't about my feelings. You didn't hurt me, you disrespected me. There's a difference. And that's when Kelly made her second and final mistake. Instead of backing down, she snapped. Adam, I think you're being completely unreasonable right now. I just asked you a few questions about the industry. Kelly's words hit the air like a spark. And you've turned it into this whole dramatic thing, she said. The look on Adam's face was priceless. You could almost see the gears turning in his mind as something inside him just snapped. Unreasonable. That was the word that broke him. His expression shifted from anger to ice. When he finally spoke, his voice was calm, too calm. Unreasonable, he repeated slowly, like he was tasting the word. So first, I'm too sensitive, and now, I'm unreasonable. Kelly, do you even hear yourself right now? Kelly's eyes widened. She knew she'd messed up, but instead of backing down, she made it worse. Adam, you're making a mountain out of a molehill. These were just casual questions about the industry. Adam's voice rose. Casual questions. Kelly, you basically called my career manufactured, implied I'm not authentic. And when I defended myself, you called me too sensitive and unreasonable. In what universe is that casual? The audience was locked in. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. It was like watching a slow-motion car crash you couldn't look away from. Kelly's frustration was starting to show. You know what, Adam? Maybe you are being unreasonable. I've apologized, I've tried to explain, and you just keep attacking me. Adam Lafita, bitter, humorless sound, attacking you. Kelly, I'm defending myself. There's a difference though. I can see how you might get confused about that. Kelly snapped back. I asked you questions about the music industry. That's literally my job as a talk show host. Adam's tone cut through the air. Your job as a talk show host is to make your guests feel welcome and respected, not ambushed with loaded questions designed to make them look bad. Kelly's professional facade was slipping fast. I didn't ambush you. You're the one turning this into a confrontation. Adam leaned forward. I turned this into a confrontation. Kelly, are you serious? You started this by questioning whether artists from reality shows are authentic, while interviewing someone who came from American Idol. What did you think was going to happen? I thought you'd have a mature, professional conversation about it, Kelly said, her voice dripping with condescension. That was it. The breaking point. Adam stood up so suddenly, his chair screeched across the studio floor. The audience gasped. Mature and professional. His voice echoed through the set. You want to talk about mature and professional? That would have been asking me about my music me work me experiences. That would have been respect. Instead, you tried to tear me down on national television. Kelly, still seated, looked shaken. Adam, please sit down. Let's finish the interview properly. Adam let out a dry, humorless laugh. Finish this interview. Kelly, this interview was over the moment you decided to disrespect me. I'm not going to sit here and let you belittle me for your audience's entertainment. I'm not belittling you, Kelly said weakly. Aren't you? Adam snapped. You've questioned my authenticity, dismissed my concerns as oversensitive, called me unreasonable, and now you're talking to me like I'm a misbehaving child. How is that not belittling? The production team was in chaos, now hands waving, behind cameras, producers whispering frantically, unsure whether to cut to commercial or just let it play out. Kelly tried one last time to regain control. Adam, you're a guest on my show. The least you could do is show some respect. That was the final straw. Adam's expression turned to stone. His voice was like ice. Respect. You want to talk about respect, Kelly? Respect is a two-way street. You can't spend 20 minutes disrespecting someone and then demand they respect you in return. I haven't disrespected you, Kelly said, but even she didn't sound convinced. Adam stepped closer to the stage edge. Haven't you? Let's recap. You questioned whether artists from reality shows are authentic. You implied my success is built on image, not talent. You told me I was too sensitive. Then you called me unreasonable. And now, you're demanding respect while giving none. Does that about sum it up? Kelly looked pale, her voice trembling. Adam, please, can we just start over? Adam shook his head slowly. No, Kelly, there's no starting over from this. You've shown me exactly who you arraigned, how you really feel about artists like me. I'm not going to sit here and pretend this didn't happen just to make you look good. The room was dead silent. You could hear every breath, every flicker of movement from the cameras. This was unprecedented. Guests didn't call out hosts. They didn't walk out. But Adam Lambert was about to make daytime television history. Kelly's voice broke through the silence. Desperate now. Adam, think about what you're doing. This is live television. Adam looked her straight in the eye. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm standing up for myself, something you clearly didn't expect. And yes, Kelly, he said, pausing, the entire studio hanging on his next words. I know this is live television. And with that, Adam turned, microphone still clipped to his jacket, and walked straight off the stage. Adam's voice cut through the silence like a blade. That means America gets to see exactly how you treat your guests. When you think no one will call you out on it, Kelly's eyes glistened with tears. That's not fair. She whispered. Fair. Adam repeated, his tone low but seething. You want to talk about fair? Was it fair when you brought me on your show just to question my legitimacy as an artist? Was it fair when you called me too sensitive for defending myself? Or when you labeled me unreasonable because I wouldn't just sit here and take it? Kelly had no words. She sat frozen, her expression hollow, as Adam towered over her, his anger now cold, controlled, and deadly calm. I thought so, he said softly. You know what, Kelly? I've had enough. I came here to talk about my music, my to celebrate art, not to be psychoanalyzed and picked apart by someone who, of all people, should understand what this industry can do to a person. The quiet click of Adam unclipping his microphone filled the room like thunder. The studio was so silent that even that tiny sound seemed deafening. Every person in the audience knew they were witnessing television history. This wasn't just an awkward interview. This was the total collapse of a professional relationship live on air. Kelly's voice cracked. Adam, please, don't do this. For a fleeting second, Adam looked at her. There was a flicker of softness in his eyes. Then it was gone. Kelly, he said evenly, you did this, not me. You created this with your questions, your implications, your lack of respect. I'm just refusing to sit here and take it anymore. Kelly's voice trembled. But if you walk out now, it's going to look terrible for both of us. Adam shook his head slowly. No, Kelly, it's going to look terrible for you. I'm the one who is attacked, dismissed, and disrespected. I'm just drawing the line. The crowd was completely still, some people with phones raised, recording the moment that would soon dominate every headline in America. Others simply stared, mouths open, unable to believe what they were seeing. Kelly tried one last time, her words desperate. Adam, please, sit back down. Let me fix this. Adam hesitated for a heartbeat, then shook his head again. You had 20 minutes to fix this. But every time I tried to explain how your words came across, you doubled down. You called me sensitive. You called me unreasonable. And then you demanded my respect while giving me none. Tears streamed down Kelly's face now. I made mistakes, she admitted, her voice breaking. I'm human. Can't you give me a chance to make it right? Adam's tone was steady, but But the time to make it right was before you decided to question my authenticity on live television. Before you dismissed me. Before you made me defend my entire career to your audience. Behind them, the production team was in chaos, rushing, gesturing, debating whether to cut to commercial or just let this unbelievable moment continue. Adam straightened his jacket and turned toward the camera. His voice was calm, deliberate, and heavy with conviction. To everyone watching at home, I came here today excited to talk about my music and my tours. I didn't come here to have my career questioned or my integrity doubted. Nobody, no matter who they are, deserves that. Kelly was openly sobbing now. Adam, please, don't do this to me. Adam turned back, his expression softening, but only slightly. I'm not doing this to you, Kelly. These are the consequences of your own actions. You chose this path with your questions, your tone, your disregard for respect. You made this bed. I'm just not lying in it. I'm sorry, Kelly whispered. Adam nodded once. I believe you. But sorry doesn't undo the damage. It doesn't erase what you implied about me and my career. It doesn't take back the moment you told me I was too sensitive for standing up for myself. And with that, Adam Lambert turned and began to walk off the stage. The cameras followed, capturing each slow, deliberate step. As he left the set, the audience didn't make a sound. Adam, wait please. Kelly's voice cracked through the silence. Adam stopped at the edge of the stage, turned back one final time, and said quietly, Kelly, I've spent my entire career proving I belong here. I've fought for respect every step of the way, and I'm not going to let one interview undermine that. I hope one day you understand that your guests aren't props. They're people, and they deserve to be treated that way. And then he was gone. Kelly sat frozen, tears streaming down her cheeks, as the studio fell into a stunned silence. The crew scrambled, unsure whether to cut the feed or roll credits. The audience murmured in disbelief.